Am I?
Are you?
I'm the only one in the frame.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, we want you and me.
Awesome.
If that gets blurry, you need to touch this thing right here lightly, or you just touch right here.
Okay.
I think, or yeah. It'll probably change when I get there. Can I borrow that console?
Yeah, this one has writing on it.
That's all right.
Okay.
Does it look good?
I have the new one actually.
Zoom out?
Yeah, because we can't see you.
Oh, okay. So
I
you
don't
just
really want to see yourself.
twist this. There's a dial
On
the lens. Yeah, you should be able to twist it.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
Hello.
perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that microphone plugged in too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Plugged in.
good. Okay.
I'll take this. Just I don't think we're all fruits or vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Need a
Beautiful.
pen?
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a legit console.
Do I need
Okay.
to press record?
It should be recording on QuickTime. Does it show recording?
There's
Down
this-
on that button, it should show like 30 seconds or however long it's been recording.
Oh, yeah. You're good.
Click.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Good. And I'll just edit the first part out. Okay. This is a new packet.
Yes.
Good. Is this everything you include in it?
This is everything. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Cool. All right. So we're gonna treat it as like a new customer, brand new. Okay. And we've qualified the customer on the phone, right? We've said, LP Mama basically, right? So what are your LP Mama stats? What are your goals?
Buying a home, first-time home buyer.
Okay.
Moving to Folsom. I need a pool. I'm like one
Let's
of those
just do
Bay
a
Area
second
people.
time home buyer.
Second-time home buyer.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's more challenging.
Got it.
First time home buyer is going to be kind of boring because they're just super excited to hear about the whole process,
That's
right?
true. Actually,
So-
I'll just use what I just talked about. Okay.
What was the just talk? You just talked to
she,
someone?
Yeah, she would like a 2-acre property in Fair Oaks or Carmichael, 5-bedroom, 1-story home,
Okay.
and like 6 months or a year down the line, kind of hoping for foreclosures and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Got
all
it.
over the place.
Great. Nikki, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming and meeting with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know
Thank
you were hesitant to do so. You asked me on the phone, why do we need to meet, right?
Yeah, I'm not buying a home for another 6 months.
Well, that's why it's so important that we meet now, right? So the last time you bought a home, how did that process go?
Gosh, that was about a decade ago. We just drove around, it was right after the 2008 crash. We just drove around with the realtor and found so many properties and just decided on one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like totally opposite of today, right? There's very few homes for sale, and it's hard to find. And if you're driving looking for homes, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to drive thousands of miles. So my goal is save you time. Hence why we sit down here and treat it much differently, right? Did your previous agent sit down and get an idea of your goals and what you want and need in a home? That way you can really hone in on what you were looking for rather than just kind of spray and pray, drive around looking for signs.
No, I think we met once in his office and like it was just for a few minutes and then we just drove. He drove us all over the place. We went all the way up to like Manteca looking for homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that where you wanted to be?
No, we were just looking where we can buy the home.
Ah.
Just wherever we could get inside a home. That was the priority at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, my goal would be save your time and work as efficiently as possible, right? And I told you on the phone, we have some great programs to do that. And I think that, with our team, the whole goal is make the experience as efficient as possible and use your time wisely. Because remember, like inventory is at the lowest level it's ever been. And you said on the phone, talking about foreclosures and all of that, like I disagree that a wave of foreclosures is coming. And even if there was a wave of foreclosures, there's still 100% less homes for sale today than ever before. So let's say 1 million foreclosures come to market, we're still missing like 4 million homes. So they would be bought up very quickly. So the whole goal is get an idea of what your goals are, what you're looking for in a home, and if the right home came up, would you buy it today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm prepared to buy it right away. I was just really hoping that I can find something that's foreclosed upon, and maybe I can do improvements over time on it. I'm definitely not savvy enough to do all the improvements right now. I don't have any connections. I don't know anybody who can. But I was really thinking that I was listening in the news too that there's so many people who are behind on their mortgages, and we are going to have tons of foreclosed properties. So it's kind of surprised that so many people are buying homes right now.
Well, there's so much demand. Like all of those people who aren't paying their mortgage won't turn into a foreclosure, right? So not everyone who isn't paying their mortgage actually can't, right? They're just choosing not to pay their mortgage and taking advantage of these programs, right? So, you said something I want to hit on, your goal of kind of waiting for a deal, right? And so I've been waiting for deals for 10 years, honestly. So, and had I bought a home if I bought a home last year, that was a great deal. If I bought a home 2 years before that, that was an even better deal. If you bought a home 3 months ago, that's a great deal compared to today, right? So as long as home values are still appreciating or staying nominally the same, it's a good deal. So I want to help you change kind of your philosophy of like what's a deal and what's not, and focus on like what you need in a home, and if the right home pops up, you would buy it. So what are the top 5 must-haves in your home?
Oh gosh, okay, so the top 5 must-haves: absolutely have to have a pool. I need a property with some land around it. I'm thinking anywhere from like anything above an acre would be good. It doesn't have to be too much. I just need space. Last year was just really tough with being cooped up inside. We definitely need at least 5 bedrooms in the home.
Wow, it's a big house.
Yeah, and then we need it to be single-story home.
Okay, how come you need it to be a single story? Is that a non-negotiable?
It's a non-negotiable, yes. My elderly parents live with me, and I have slipped down the stairs trying to go to them quickly before, so we just don't want any stairs whatsoever.
No stairs at all. Okay, and you won't budge on that, right?
Yes, no.
Okay, so that means that if you ask to see a home that has stairs or 2-story, I'm going to tell you no, okay?
Okay,
Got it.
I won't ask.
What about the pool? Would you install a pool if you could? If the property was great, had everything that you wanted, but it didn't have a pool, would you buy it?
My priority would be to find it with the pool, but yeah, if there is no pool but everything else is there, yeah.
Okay, because remember, inventory is like 100% less than what is usual. So if a great house comes up and it doesn't have a pool and it's within price range and you can always add a pool, I'm gonna recommend we go look at it, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but 5 beds is non-negotiable. Could you buy a home that's 4 bedrooms with an office that you can convert? Okay.
That would be fine, yeah. As long as we have, space.
Okay. What about any other non-negotiables?
It can be out in the boonies. I need it to be in the city, so like it has to be in the Fair Oaks or Carmichael. I'm open to El Dorado Hills. I lived there for 14 years. I really like that neighborhood too. Folsom is fine. I love Roseville. I currently live in Roseville, but I'm not looking to go out to like Cameron Park or like something like super far away.
Okay, got it. So again, if you send me a property that's kind of in the boonies and say, hey, let's just go take a look at this, I'm gonna say no, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna recommend not, because again, my whole goal is really hone in on the things that you want, right? And be kind of your guide to stay away from homes that we know that you're not going to buy. Because it's really easy to say, well, let's just go look at it, right? Yeah. But again, we're honing in on the things that you want. Got it? In terms of do you commute into Sacramento, or do you work from home, or?
Yes, my job takes me all over the place. I drive constantly.
Got it. And so it's you, your parents, and you have kids?
Yes, I have 3 kids.
3 kids. Okay. Are schools important, or does it?
Yeah, schools would be important, but also we have been doing, home study, whatever it's called.
Yeah, virtual learning.
Virtual learning, yes, for the last year. So they're just kind of used to it now. We have really good tutors and stuff that help them too.
Okay.
So we are flexible on that.
So in regards to, why wait, I want to go back to that. So what has been stopping you from buying a home so far? Just this thought that maybe foreclosures will come someday?
That, and also the home prices right now are just so expensive,
Yeah.
you know. And I was thinking that if I start looking in 6 months, it'll probably take me another 6 months to find the right home, and then next summer vacation we can make the move.
Ah, got it. Well, what happens if the prices don't come down between now and then?
Well, I'm constantly also saving for the down payment, you know. As long as the interest rates stay kind of where they are, I think I should be just fine. And they already said that the interest rates are not going to go up, so I'm fine.
Where did they say that? Because the Fed's actually announced the exact opposite of that
They
just
did?
recently. Yeah, and interest rates are actually higher today than they were 6 months ago, right? And that's going to be the trend as we move forward. They can't keep rates at zero forever, right? So inflation has started to set in. I would anticipate by next year you're going to be paying much higher interest rates than today. So that comes back to why we're sitting here today, is to help you, you know, again, we're not ever going to rush you, but if the right house comes up at the right price and interest rates are good, why would you not move?
I just didn't even think that was going to be able to happen so quickly. Yeah.
Got
And
it.
they had said that if they increase the interest rates, that's just going to turn off the buyers and nobody would be buying homes anymore. So I figured they won't be increasing them anytime
Well, they
soon.
don't adjust rates just for real estate, right? So real estate doesn't drive the Federal Reserve's decisions. It's the rest of the economy too.
Yeah.
So everything is getting more expensive. And so it's just important to understand the reason home values are high right now and why we've seen this big jump is because interest rates are so low, right? Even though you're paying, let's just call it a perceived premium, but how do you know they're high? You know, home values can continue to go up. Last year, we thought home values were high, but yet look at where they are this year, right? So it's all relative to what your mortgage payment is. So I would look at what your payment is, and what is that? What would you say your mortgage payment that you don't want to go above is?
Oh gosh, nothing above 4,000.
Okay, so based on what you're telling me on what you want and where you're looking and all of that, how much money do you have to put down?
I have a couple 100,000 saved for this.
So like 200,000.
Yeah.
So you know there's a difference between what you want to put down and your closing costs and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to want to leave, I would say, 2% of your purchase price aside for closing costs, for your loan fees, inspection fees, moving costs, that kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So always keep that in mind. So I feel pretty confident that at $4,000 a month, you can afford a home that fits what you're looking for, right?
Okay.
In today's market. So if interest rates went up 0.5%, let's say, from 3% to 3.5% on a loan balance, what do you want to keep your, you know, at 200 down with $4,000 a month? You're looking probably close up to 1 million, I would guess.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that I would like my mortgage to be around like, 750, 800, because the rest would be the down payment.
Okay, so about $1 million budget.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, the other factor right now is jumbo rates, because jumbo financing is, over 500,000, let's say 580, somewhere in that range. Jumbo financing rates are very low compared to where they were before COVID. You know, the average interest rate before COVID was probably 4.5% to 5% on jumbo financing. So if rates ever went back to that point, 4.5% to 5%, your budget is actually going to be more like 700, right? So have you looked at homes around 700,000 in today's market?
Yeah.
Would you buy those homes?
No, those
Okay.
are just really, no. I
No.
haven't seen anything that,
No
they're just very
pools.
old
Yep.
homes, dark inside.
No pools, no
No.
lot size.
No.
Right. So now you know why so many people are buying homes today, right? Because interest rates are making it much more affordable to buy more home, even if you're paying a higher price.
Got it.
You know, you want to. I think the priority for me today is locking in a low rate because you're going to have that rate for 30 years, right? Even if home values fluctuate up and down, your mortgage payment is what's most affected by low rates.
That's true.
So we can lock, at 3%, sometimes even lower than that, 2.7%. Like our lenders are great; they get great rates. That's why I'm going to recommend you talk to them after today.
Okay.
But that's why I thought it was important that we meet, right? Because most people who've already bought a home and they're going to buy their second home feel like they got it and they know this process, but yet we're uncovering some things today that were kind of preconceived notions that you had that aren't necessarily true. you're not wrong, but it's not necessarily true. And so if I can show you a path to buy a home today in budget with the home that you want, it doesn't really make sense for you not to move on it. Would you agree?
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't really think that the interest rates were going to go up, but I mean, if it goes up like a full percent, I think I'll just be priced out. I will just have to stay where I am.
Could be. Home values will come down, I would guess, or at least appreciation will slow down. So prices won't increase as fast, but I don't know if prices will come down if interest rates go up, right? So there's a reason all these people are buying homes. These are not dumb people, right? These are not people with no down, right? You're in the most competitive environment where you're not the only one with several $100,000 to spend, right? In fact, like everyone has several $100,000. So these are not like dumb people buying homes. They're seeing something that maybe you just didn't see before this meeting, and hopefully I can help you see that with low rates under 3%, that's a huge advantage in today's market.
Okay.
Are you okay with doing work on the home? Let's say paint, carpet.
Yeah, that's just
small
fine.
work.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to move walls, I'm fine.
Okay. Got it. What about any additional structures? Shop, shed,
It would be
doghouse?
nice to have. Yeah, it would be nice to have, but it's not
But not
important.
negotiable.
Yeah, it's not important right now because with the land, I figured I can always build stuff later.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in regards to garages, do you want a 3-car garage? Does it have to be a 3-car garage, or can it be a 2-car garage, or no garage?
As long as there is enough parking, I mean, 3 would be ideal. But if there's 2 and then there's like a long driveway or something for the parking, that's
Okay.
just gonna be fine.
Because you have your parents with you.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Got it. Are there any specific styles of homes that you want or want to stay away from that would be non-negotiables?
I just don't want a home that's like super dark inside. I just need it to be very light, bright, and open. I need a big kitchen for sure, because you know we're a big family. My husband loves to cook. We have dogs, so we definitely need that like fenced in home. It can't just be an open land.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
that
pretty
would be-
rare here.
Yeah, that would be very expensive to put in, right? The fencing.
A
around
fencing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it can.
Yeah.
I mean I wouldn't not buy a home if it didn't have a fence, right? We
Oh.
could always help you find someone to help you put in a fence.
Okay.
Okay.
And
got it.
also I'm open to if the lot itself is small and there's like maybe an empty lot or something next to it that I can potentially buy, then I would be open to that as well.
Okay, but that's not a non because that's pretty rare to
Yeah,
find.
yeah.
Okay.
Just in my neighborhood there is one home like that, and I always kind of thought that would be good, but it's a 2-story home, so I can't buy it.
What qualities are you looking for in a real estate agent? What's important to you?
Well, I mean, you have been very educational already. Just be very honest. Just keep me posted on what's going on. I don't want somebody to just kind of lie to me or like drive up the price or anything. Responsive. Like if I ask a question, I just would like an answer, even if it's not right away, like within a day or so at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any fears
Knowledgeable.
about writing offers over asking price?
What do you mean?
Well, most of the homes, most of the homes that what you want are what lots of people want. Even before COVID, this is a desirable kind of home. And so, for years we've been in a market where they'll sell with multiple offers, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you're aware that if you find a home, even 6 months from now, it's highly likely that it will have several offers. So we're always going to tell you what it's going to take to win. But I just want to make sure you're aware. Like if you fall in love with a home, you're going to want to be as competitive as possible with your offer, even if there's 5 of them.
Got it.
You're willing to pay over asking.
Yeah, if I find everything in a home, definitely.
Well, you'll never find everything in a home. Like you'll find 90%.
Okay.
If you find 90%, we're going to high five, right?
Okay.
So you'll never get all of your boxes checked, and I want to make that clear, because if you said I have to get all of those things, then I would say that your motivation level is not as high as we think it is, right? Because you're never going to get everything you want in a resale home.
Okay.
Like you can go build your own home, right, and get everything that you want and spend 2 years doing that and $2 million probably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I just my whole goal is to make sure that you're going into this with the right expectations, right, and we have a good partnership, because we don't get paid unless we actually successfully find you a home. So we're really careful about our time, right?
Okay.
And I want to make sure that I'm using your time wisely, right, if you're hiring us to work on your behalf. And we're going to start to try to find homes both on market and off market, like I said on the phone, is we can create marketing strategies around homes that fit this criteria. And we come across a lot of sellers in our market. So I'll not only be looking for homes that hit the MLS or the standard listing portals like every other agent, but we're gonna hunt homes off market, and that kind of goes back to like what makes us unique and different. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I'm very interested in that, because nobody the off-market homes that you talk about, because once something is on the market, then everybody's looking at it. It just gets so competitive. So if there's something that's off-market, and I kind of ahead of time that, hey, this is going to be coming, that's going to be super cool.
Well, it's great. There's no deals even off market usually, but it's more about just finding the perfect house with giving you a little bit of time. Not like you have to decide in 48 hours, because that's kind of what it's been, right? So, my recommendation, if you do want to move forward, is like, if a home comes on the market today, we're gonna have to go into it tomorrow and then make a decision the following day, right? So you don't have a lot of time to like ponder and think about it, right?
Okay.
And so, my goal is to tell you exactly what it's going to take. And I quickly want to just go over a couple of things with you, as now that I know like what you're looking for, kind of like what I can do to help you and what makes us unique and why you should have a buyer's agent, right? Because a lot of people will think, well, if I just call the listing agents, they're going to let me in and I'm going to have an advantage. Have you ever done that?
I have, yeah. I have.
And how did that go for you?
Just, kind of to see the home and stuff. We were doing that a lot when we were first buying the home in El Dorado, and the listing agent was great. They would just open the door and let us in, and sometimes they would have open houses and stuff too. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it works, and the challenge is it will take you 4 times as long to get a home that way, because the listing agents are extremely busy. Like when someone calls me, I might not get back to them for a day or two, right? Especially if it's someone that's just trying to get access to a home. Again, we use our time really wisely. So if someone's just using me to open the door, I'm less likely to want to open the door for them, let's say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we have a fiduciary obligation to get you the best deal possible, right? So we ask that in the event that you see a home that you want to see or want to go to an open house, that you let us know and we accompany you. Like, we don't want you to have to go by yourself, right? And we'll make sure that you can get video tours or actual tours on demand, basically within hours. Got it?
Okay, very cool.
So give you a little bit about myself, blah, 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 go over your bio. We're gonna skip that for the essence of time, right? So when you hire me, you're not just hiring me, you're hiring our whole team, right? And I'm a firm believer that a team outperforms an individual at all times. That's why great teams don't typically have just one great player, right? They typically have a great roster of people.
Yeah.
And championship winning teams don't do it on the backs of like one person, unless you're like LeBron James, right?
That's true.
But even Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
There's always someone that's there helping that entire team get to the next level. And so, my focus is purely, finding off-market homes for you, making sure that you can get into properties, right? Negotiating contracts, previewing inventory, and we work with partners, and we call them showing partners, where it allows our clients to get access to homes whenever they want. Because I'm extremely busy, right? You want to hire an agent that is productive. You don't want to hire any Joe Schmo who just got their license 12 days ago and doesn't know any listing agents and doesn't know any inventory, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Got it. So I need help, and I also don't need to be there for every showing either, right? Because 90% of the homes you see, you're not going to buy, right? So I only want to be there on the home that you actually like and want to buy, but I also don't want to pressure you on homes that you don't want to buy either. So we offer kind of a pressure-free solution where we have partners that can help you see any home that you want within 24 hours, whether it's virtual or in person. And then once we go under escrow, We have administrative support staff that help us with all of the paperwork, all the things that take me away from giving you better service, right?
Got it.
And most agents, they're doing all of that. They're like the janitor, the paperwork person, the marketing person. That's why most agents fail. And when I ask the question, what are you looking for in an agent? Communication is usually one of the first things people respond with, because agents aren't good at communicating because they're doing the janitor work and the calling work and the paperwork.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
That's true.
So we've
Okay.
designed the most efficient process for our clients, and if you were to go check our reviews, we have well over 200 reviews online, and we believe that we have the best process for someone to go and buy a home. It's very streamlined and stress-free.
Okay.
Was your first experience stressful?
That was very stressful. Those meetings, my goodness, to sign paperwork were just hours and hours, and then the agent made so many mistakes and he had to keep reprinting the documents, and it was just like at the end of it we didn't even care what we were signing. We were just
Yeah.
like, just let this process be over.
Well, the good thing is most of that will be done digitally.
Okay.
But that's exactly why we hire great administrative support, because if it was left up to us agents, we would make mistakes and miss things. Because a great agent is not necessarily a detail-oriented person who is going to catch everything in the contract, right? I'm an expert negotiator, not an expert contract filler-outer, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you want us to be in our strike zone, and that's where our team really shines. And
Got
because
it.
of our team and our marketing, we generate a lot of listing opportunities, and that's where it goes back to finding off-market inventory. Like, you can know that we're constantly looking for potential sellers. We have hundreds of them in a database that are considering selling between now and today and 2 or 3 years from now,
Got it.
right? So 20% of all of our sales are done entirely off market, 100% before they hit the MLS, and that allows you to slow down a little bit. Maybe not get a great deal, because obviously the seller still wants to get a good price,
Yeah, that
but it
makes
allows
sense.
you to avoid competition.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, but for that, we want an exclusive partnership with you, right? Like, we only let people have access to that or even work on that if we know we have a client, right? It's like going to attorneys and, trying to hire 3 attorneys to fight your case. Like, you're never going to get an attorney to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It's like, I want to hire you, you, and you.
Uh-huh.
I want you to kind of work together. I want to keep my options open,
Yeah.
right? And so, most attorneys are not going to want to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I am.
Okay.
I'm not going to work with you unless I have an exclusive agreement with you that doesn't bind you to me. It just says, I'm going to do these 10 things for you. What you're going to do for me is make sure that any homes that you want to see, you let me know about it so I can negotiate on your behalf. If there's anything off market that you come across, let me know. Any new construction homes, definitely very important, because when we negotiate contracts on new construction, we can actually help you get, on average, more closing cost credit than the builder is going to be willing to give you, right? Because they're protecting their interests. But there's several things that I'll want you to do for me, and in return, these are all the things that we're going to do for you, right?
Okay.
And we'll give you access to what we call our cash back to offer program. And what that means is, whenever you find the home, in the event it's $900,000 and you're putting $200,000 down, if you get qualified with our lender, say we're going to write an offer with 21-day close. If for some reason you can't close in that 21 days, we guarantee that seller that we're going to close in the 21 days. If you can't perform, we'll buy it and hold it for you for up to 60 days so that you can get your financing in order and close from us. We'll sell the house back to you. The advantage there is it guarantees the seller that they're going to close no matter what. The other advantage there is that there's no other buyer that's going to have access to a program like that, right? So other than having a lot of marketing that generates listings, this is our biggest differentiator in the market. You won't find another agent that can give you that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. One question I do have is, so if that happens and you have to hold the home for me, how much will you charge me for that?
There are no fees for that. As long as it's within 60 days, right?
Okay.
So there's no fees to you. That's just part of working with our team. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's very cool. I've never heard of that before.
And it gives you a competitive advantage. Again, my whole goal is help you find a home in a shorter period of time with least amount of hassle, right? So I don't want to be looking for a home with you for 6 months. the reason we have that program is we were getting offers rejected a lot when there's 10 offers. Well, it's increased our offer acceptance rate substantially, something like 70%. So if I can get 70% of my time and my client's time back, that's a huge win, right? Because you can't get your time back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's true.
What are you going to do with your current home?
I was just gonna rent it out now that COVID is kind of over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to a lender about can you do that or not?
No, I didn't know I had to.
It will affect how you qualify for your loan.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. I mean, they can calculate some of that income to use towards what you qualify for, but that's why definitely after today, you're going to want to talk to Keith, our partner at Movement, and tell him your plan. Then you can know if you qualify for a $700,000 or $800,000 mortgage. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer that you want to get all of your steps done up front.
Yeah.
So that there's no surprises later on.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Okay.
No?
Thank you. Yeah.
You're being so quiet. Stretching.
No, I just need a fork.
Oh. So I want to quickly go over the steps of the process. Even though you've bought a home before, the steps have probably changed, right? So the first step is meeting here today so we can really hone in on exactly what you want to do, right? We call that the consultation, right? And just like an attorney, I'm going to intake you and figure out what your goals are so I can advise you on the best steps from there. And my advice as of right now today is there's no reason that you should wait to buy a home, right? There really isn't. And had you bought a home 3 months ago or 6 months ago, you would already have equity in that home, right?
Okay.
So if there were homes that you were voyeuristically looking at 3 months ago that you're like, wow, I love that home, you should have bought it, honestly. There's no reason why not.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on Zillow for sure.
I'm sure. I think everyone has. So the very first step before we ever go look at a home is getting pre-approved. And that's not for me, that's for you, right? Because you want to know exactly what your mortgage payment would be based on your qualifications, and we don't want to look at any homes beyond that, right?
Yeah.
Most agents will show people homes that are over their budget, you know, and clients will think that the agent's trying to steer them for more commission or whatnot. I truly believe we set a budget and we stay below it.
Okay.
You are definitely going to send properties over your budget, and I'm going to tell you no, kind of like the other things, right?
Okay.
Got it? So
But what if that property has everything that I want?
If you can afford it, great.
Okay.
Yeah, we would make sure you could afford it before you go. So
Got
don't
it.
get offended if I say, hey, or if I start questioning you on that, because that's my job. That's what you hired me to do, is to get you a house based on what you told me you want. And if you have variation from that, I'm going to call you out on it and just make sure we're on the same page.
Got it.
Got it?
Okay.
So you're going to commit to me to go at least get pre-approved through a lender. That way you can qualify for the cashback program, right?
Okay. So I can't like price shop. I have to go with your lender for the cash.
For our program, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can price shop all you want. Their rates are really good. What I will say is that, you know, the internet banks are going to give you the lowest rates, right? The problem is you'll be searching for a home forever because no one's going to accept an offer with a quick-in pre-approval or an internet bank from Omaha, Nebraska, right? Because the listing agents know that they're not going to be able to get a hold of that lender, right? So there's two things going on with lenders. Rates, right? You want to know the rates are good, but it's important to know that they have speed for closing because it's a seller's market. We want to do everything we can to position your offer to give you an advantage other than paying more money, right? So
Yeah.
obviously we have to pay good money and good terms, but if I can get you an advantage by having a lender for you that can close in 15 days, so we don't have to overpay, and it's more like cash versus conventional financing that takes 30 days,
Okay.
wouldn't that be advantageous? I can save you tens of thousands by closing faster versus overpaying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's another reason why you're going to want to talk to Keith.
Okay.
Their rates are super competitive. I've bought my own residences with them. So rates are really good, but they're on average, even on a jumbo loan, they can close in like 15 to 17 days, which is amazing.
Okay.
Then we start to narrow down your search. We'll do this simultaneously. Again, I'll say it again. I'm not going to show you any homes outside of what your budget is, right?
Okay.
Or I'm going to pre-call those homes and make sure that there's not 52 offers on them first. and if there are, I'll probably tell you, let's not go look at it. Okay, that way, we're not wasting any time.
Yeah.
Once we're out looking for homes, you know, we'll really start to hone in on what you like and what you don't like.
Okay.
Remember, you're never going to get a home that checks every box.
Okay.
Okay. Can we agree that that's going to be okay?
Yeah, as long as it's things that we can change, like we discussed, like carpet, flooring, paint and stuff. Yeah, that would be just fine.
Because we can help you with that. We can help coordinate all that for you, right? But I just want to make sure we're on the same page that you are not going to get everything that you want. And if there was a home that checked 90% of the boxes that we saw, and I said, you know, let's write an offer, I'm probably going to question if you're not willing to write an offer on it, right? If everything matches, it's in budget, has 90% of what you want, but you don't want to pull the trigger, I'm going to want to know why, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because if you're not ready to buy, we would just, you know, put this on the back burner and wait and for the foreclosures to come, right? And who knows when that would come.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
When you're ready to make an offer, you know, I really spend a lot of time on this. You know, most of the offers are over asking. A lot of the offers, we need to remove our appraisal contingency, which means that if the appraisal comes in below what you're paying, we're agreeing to absorb that into our loan amount. Does that make sense? Or bring in the cash difference. Because you have a lot of money to put down, it's probably not going to be a big issue, but I just want to make sure that we're talking about that up front. Because the market is appreciating, we're having issues with appraisals because every month the market is increasing, right? And what new homes are selling for doesn't match what they sold for 2 months ago. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's not that you're overpaying, it's just that because the market's appreciating, the appraisers are behind us, right?
Got it.
So this is how I judge if you're overpaying. If there's 10 people that want to buy the home and we're one of those offers, that home is well worth what they're asking for, right?
That's a good way to look at it. Okay.
Yeah, the true definition of market value is what a willing buyer and seller agree on. And if there's 10 buyers and 1 seller, you know, you can rest assured it's probably worth more than what it's listed for. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So don't be concerned if we have to offer over and remove our appraisal contingency. It's just part of it. Okay? And then in terms of contingencies, to break down what they are, in a nutshell, because a lot of people get confused, you've heard of the earnest money deposit or the good faith deposit, right? Contingencies just protect that, right? So there's one for inspection, so you can do inspections and decide if you want to move forward and buy the home. There's one for an appraisal to make sure you can get an appraisal on time and in at the value of your contract price. And then there's one for your loan. That gives you 21 days on average to obtain financing and get approved for your loan. Makes sense? If for any reason, if you still have those contingencies, one of those things doesn't happen and you have a contingency, you can back out and get your deposit back. Got it?
Okay.
In today's world, we're removing many of those contingencies because other people are willing to do that. So for me to advise you to get a home, I'm going to advise you to remove some of those, right? The inspection contingency to do inspections is usually one that will leave so that you can do your inspections, make sure there's no repairs to be made, and feel confident moving forward. Any questions around that?
Yeah, so the inspection contingencies where they find out if there are any kind of termites and stuff in the home and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be very important for me.
A lot of the homes will do inspections up front, you know, so we'll be able to access those before we write an offer.
Okay.
Okay? So loan and once you get approved with Keith's team, you're already approved for your loan, right? They will underwrite your loan up front. That's how they can close so quick.
Okay.
And so if you're approved with Keith, that means we can remove your loan contingency, no problem. So it's almost like same as cash, right?
Okay.
Rather than going to Quicken, closing in 35 days, and not knowing who you're talking to, getting past the phone tree with someone in Texas. You know, Keith's team is right here in Roseville and will answer his phone at 8 p.m. when you need it. Trust me now, the people who opt not to do that are wishing that they did it when they're in contract and they can't get a hold of their lender, right? You have to have a little faith there.
Okay.
Any questions about the process?
No.
No questions?
No. I just remember that we signed the documents and then the next day we got the keys. That's still how it is?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on if the seller needs to stay in the home, which is quite common. So oftentimes we'll close and then let the seller have 2 weeks or a month to go move into their next home, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
called a rent back.
Mhm.
Usually it costs money
Okay.
for the seller. We might offer it for free if there's multiple offers.
Oh,
So
okay.
it just depends on how it's all set up.
Got it.
From start to finish, my commitment is from this day moving forward, if you're motivated to buy, which I think you should be based on what your goals are, my goal would be have you in a home within 60 days. The first